Good afternoon, everyone. Today we will be dealing with a session, do's and don'ts for UPSC aspirants. This session is based on the analysis of UPSC CSE 2020 Prelims. So we shall wait for a few more minutes so that aspirants will join. You can use the chat section of this platform to type your queries. Mainly, I intend this to be a live and interactive webinar where you can ask your queries. I shall try my best to help you out. Good afternoon, all. Good afternoon, all. Welcome to this session. You can type your queries in the comment box so that we'll take each of those queries and discuss in this platform. Nice to see you all. How was the exam? Nice to notice that many aspirants are joining. Very good afternoon. Hope many of you have taken the UPSC Prelims, which was conducted yesterday. How was the exam for you? I hope you all did well. Okay, Krishna is saying that. Okay, too much tricky exam. Okay, Krishna is saying that I've attempted. Okay, you need some help to clear the cutoff. Tough exam, too much tricky. Any other comments? Paper 2 was a bit tough. Unconventional moderate. Nice to see many comments. Any other feedback? I am happy to know the feedback after attempting the exam. Tough. Good. Paper was moderate to tough. Okay, there are aspirants who are yet to start the exam also. They come to attend this webinar for guidance. Good. Anuj says that he is an aspirant from Hindi medium. Got a lot of questions from ClearIAS Test Series. Great. So it's good to see many comments related to the exam. The application method-based questions are asked. Good observation by Muhammad Arif Khan. Is this session audible to all? Am I audible? Is this properly audible? Okay, good. So from your feedback, what I have understood is that the exam was tough or moderate to tough. It's good to hear that many questions came from ClearIAS Test Series. But the purpose of this particular webinar, a live interaction with aspirants, is to help you not only with regarding to the mains, but also aspirants who will be taking UPSC Prelims in 2021. What are the areas they should concentrate based on the analysis of this year exam? Because we every year we have to do the post-exam analysis as well, because that will help you in your learning. Only if you know the right areas to focus, then only you will be able to score high marks in UPSC Prelims. Otherwise, our preparation will not be in the right direction. So, okay, crystal clear, audible. Great to know that. So in this webinar, we will be concentrating on what to do and what not to do in the coming days. For UPSC, those aspirants who scored high in this exam, they should focus on UPSC mains, and those aspirants who are preparing for 2021, we are also targeting the same aspirants in this particular webinar, I will be dealing separately with each kind of those aspirants, and we'll be dealing what to do and what not to do. Before that, I am happy to know from the comments like what exactly is your requirement. So yesterday prelims questions which have ample amount of questions related to agriculture sector does they belong to current affairs or geographic agriculture part? Kindly enlighten on this. Okay, many neglected the agriculture part. That's what I can read from the comments. So my observation regarding the prelims 2020 which happened yesterday is that apart from the polity section, almost all other sections were kind of difficult, moderate to tough, and the questions were of very high standard. Not the questions you normally see around, not the questions you normally prepare. Polity section was comparatively simple. The conceptual polity was asked. Those questions, even the polity questions, were also not factual or the high end kind of polity related things, but very basic polity concepts like constitutional government, fundamental rights, DPSP, all were related to the very basic concepts. So this is a very clear signal to all of you that UPSC wants aspirants who are very thorough with the conceptual understanding. Every year we will say this, like conceptual understanding is what is more important in UPSC. But what many aspirants, even after multiple warnings, multiple advices, but many aspirants tend to forget all those things and tend to go behind the factual current affairs. The factual current affairs are not as important as the conceptual questions, conceptual understanding of polity, economics. Even from the questions from the economics, you might have noticed that most of the questions were connected with the conceptual understanding related to economy. Like, for example, a question was asked, like, what happens if a global recession happens? Like, even UPSC is coming like a hypothetical situation, saying that if global recession may happen in future, and if that is the case, what you should do or what should you understand in such a case. So the kind of questions, the standard of UPSC questions has improved a lot over the years, and there is a consistent change in 2017, 18, 19, and in 2020 it's actually a big change towards a positive goal. Actually, the changes are good. But the expected cutoff also we can discuss at a later stage. But what I intend to say at this time is that probably all those who attempted the prelims yesterday, you might be worried what will be the cutoff score, how should I study. Some of you might have not done well, so you might be thinking like, I prepared a lot of things, I studied a lot, I prepared hard in spite of the COVID lockdown restrictions, but still whatever I studied, it went in vain. And those kind of questions were not asked in UPSC. So this happens with aspirants. So this is the one particular area which I would like to focus from the very beginning. In this, you take a pause and take a deep breath and think about UPSC exam. The exam is for 200 marks. There are 100 questions, 2 marks for each. There is negative marking. Finally, the maximum possible score in UPSC Civil Services examination is 200 marks. But nobody scores 200 marks. Nobody scores even 180 marks, 170 marks. Even the marks above 150 is very rare. What normally almost all aspirants are around the 50% range, the 100, 90, 100, 110. That is the usual range, and it can be well below 100 also. But scores well above 150 or 160 is very rare. And prelims is just a qualifying exam also. The marks, even whether you score 180 marks or 98 marks, that doesn't matter. It just, what you just need is to just clear the cutoff. So soon after the exam, the common kind of feedback or common talk among aspirants is that many of the questions came from unpredictable areas, those areas which were not studied or taught in coaching institutes. Those were the questions came. So how should we prepare if we are misguided? These kind of things happen. I hear from other aspirants over the net, not based on what we teach in ClearIAS, but I hear from other aspirants who are studying in other institutes or aspirants who are preparing in general as such. But the case you need to understand is, if you need to score high in UPSC Prelims, high score in UPSC Prelims, I would say that about 60%, 70% marks, that is 120 marks, 140 marks, etc. You need to really know, like, what are the areas UPSC is focusing as of now. The areas UPSC gave priority a long time back, 5 years or 6 years, are not the priority areas for UPSC as of now. The requirements of UPSC has changed, the trends have changed. So if your aim is to score high, like 120, 130, you should definitely know what are the areas you should focus. But having said that, if your aim is to just clear the cutoff, probably moving along the mass will also probably help. Not in every case, but even if because everyone is studying the same, so almost the same kind of sources, right? So everyone is studying almost the same sources, and UPSC is asking from some other sources. But since there is some kind of overlap in those kind of questions, and you will end up somewhere around 90 to 100, 110. You will end up in that range somehow. And some of you in that range will clear, who are above the cutoff, they will clear. And those who are not above the cutoff, they will not clear. But even if that, what I am trying to say is that even if you are not highly focused, highly adapted to the latest requirements of UPSC, by due to some luck, you may clear. If you are not having that luck, you may not clear. If you end up 1 or 2 questions wrong, you may not clear as well. But the way ClearIAS helps aspirants prepare is to not just clear the cutoff, and think and discuss about the cutoff score where I am on the borderline. I don't want aspirants to prepare for UPSC Prelims worrying about the cutoff score. The way I want aspirants to clear the UPSC Prelims is that you should be clearing way above the cutoff score, like 20 or 30 marks extra than normal what happens in the UPSC Prelims. I am also not intending to, or I am not proposing that you should score 200 out of 200 in UPSC Prelims. That is practically impossible and practically not needed as well, because the marks are not counted. Finally, it's the marks are not counted. So for final ranking, it's just a qualifying exam, but you should qualify in such a matter that you are comfortably writing mains. You should not be worrying worrying about the cutoff marks. So the purpose of this webinar is that if you are preparing for UPSC Prelims, you should be able to score somewhere around 120, 130 marks. And if you're scoring 120, 130 marks in Prelims, probably that is higher than the cutoff score in last 7 or 8 years. And that is very comfortable score, and you can comfortably prepare for comfortably and confidently prepare for mains. So if that is the case, what should be the strategy? To score 120, 130 marks in Prelims, what should be the strategy? And very often in ClearIAS, we have mentioned that the strategy of you should not be just focused at Prelims. It should be a wholesome approach. It should be an integrated approach. We call it ClearIAS Prelims cum Mains integrated approach. So this session is also about the integrated approach to Prelims. For aspirants who are appearing for 2020, the approach is different. For aspirants who are approaching in 2021, the approach is different. So we'll go into that. Before that, not to make this session too long or too monotonous, I will take a few questions from you, and I will take this session as an answer to the questions you type in the chat, so that this will be an interactive webinar. And a few aspirants who want to visually present themselves and ask some questions, I can invite those aspirants who want to speak. Okay, Anuj, Abhishek, Rohit, Jagadish, many aspirants want to speak. So I'm just giving a chance to Anuj first, so that he can speak maybe after 2 or 3 minutes after checking his mobile and internet connection. He can speak, and then we will take up some of the chats as well. I'm just giving a chance to Anup to speak up. In between, we'll continue the session. So when he comes, he will also speak in between. So that way we will make this as a interactive presentation. I will give chances to a few so that we'll take up like that. Meanwhile, let me go through some of the chats. What is the expected cutoff? So how to prepare Hindi literature optional, paper 2, how to start UPSC preparation, how to start current affairs. Question on index scheme, into all coaching should be behind indexes, different organizations. Okay, try. Okay, I'm giving options to speak for a few more participants. Political science optional. We'll take up the discussion on optionals if time permits at a later stage, but as of now, we shall focus much on the preparation for general studies in prelims and mains. Musa Sheikh asked how to check the syllabus for UPSC. The syllabus of UPSC is basically mentioned while UPSC releases the notification for prelims. That happens every year. But if you need to check the UPSC syllabus, go to clearias.com, check the menu section. There is a link given which explains the UPSC syllabus for prelims, mains, and interview. Pawan says that he is a beginner how to start preparation. We'll see that as a beginner how you should preparation. Anyone who got the option to speak, did you finish checking the system requirements? Surli says that, sir, I have not been able to prepare for mains, and I am confused about the strategy for the same. How should I prepare for mains 2020? And I'm not exactly clueless, but I have not done substantiate preparation for the same. So let me, okay, Dhanasri Bhanawat has joined. Dhanasri, what you can do is that you can enable your video, then ask the question directly. Hello? 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 Dhanasri, can you ask the question?
Yeah. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, you're audible.
Okay. Sir, I just wanted to ask that I am a commerce student.
Okay.
And as it is said that art students do much better in IAS.
Okay.
So as statistics goes much more with commerce. So will I be able to clear out prelims and general studies, whereas I had been science till junior college, 11th and 12th.
Okay. Let me answer your question.
Yeah.
The aspirants coming from a humanities background, they do have a great advantage in UPSC prelims and mains, because most of the topics are connected with humanities. Like, for example, polity, economy, history, geography. Almost every topic is somehow connected with humanities. And only one section is connected with science and technology. And you are saying that you have studied science and technology until class 12, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, and the weightage of science and technology in prelims is around like 10 questions out of 100 questions in prelims, and probably 1 or 2 questions may come in mains. But apart from that, all other questions are somehow connected with humanities. So being a commerce student, I don't see any advantage as such for commerce students, but the humanities background, if you have, that will definitely help. And any graduate, the requirement of UPSC is that any graduate can.
Any graduate, yes, it is.
So don't worry about the exam as such. You are definitely capable of clearing UPSC. And being a commerce, in some sections you might get advantage. In, for example, in case of paper 2, CSAT, in the maths
section, yes, exactly.
Yeah, you will definitely get some advantage. The only thing is that you need right direction and proper. You should be properly guided. If the guidance is correct, as per the latest requirements, you will definitely clear.
Well, I'm working on NCRTs right now.
Okay.
and I'm a bit near about 30% to 40% deeply clear with it.
Okay.
So earlier I had been to educational department and teaching section, so that was an advantage for me that I know the schooling till 10th very easily.
Mhm.
So further I have other UPSC books recommended for
Okay.
polity and geography.
Okay.
Anthropology would be one which I'll be choosing as an optional subject.
Which one is the optional subject you have chosen?
Anthropology.
Anthropology. Okay.
Yeah, I am studying over it as a science was good for bio of
Okay.
mine.
Uh-huh.
So I'm working over that. I guess I'll be there with ClearIAS. I'm solving this preliminary questions also, which I get daily 3 questions of ClearIAS.
Okay.
That also I go on reading. So I guess I might clear out next year.
Okay. You're starting the right way. The NCRTs are of great help. Even in this
Yeah,
year exam, you might have noticed many questions from NCRTs in history section and geography. There were some conceptual questions from NCRT, but don't stick just to NCRTs and try to finish.
surely not.
Yeah, try to finish NCRTs as fast as possible. Then
Surely so.
get to the standard textbooks. And even now, if you go through the standard textbooks and compare with the kind of questions asked in UPSC. Even the standard
Hmm.
textbooks are also not sufficient. Or if you are just preparing UPSC and if you're thinking that if you have only one or two standard textbooks, that is not the way many smart aspirants prepare, because the questions are beyond what is mentioned in many standard or traditional textbooks. You need to
Exactly,
you need
exactly.
to look for new sources. Newspaper is definitely a great source, and questions are asked from
I've
newspapers. But
yes, I've subscribed for the Hindu and
okay,
Indian Express. These
great,
two I go on reading with.
okay, great. We'll discuss further strategies in this session, and we'll take up other
Surely,
questions. And
surely, sir,
thank you
surely.
for joining. Okay, thank
Yeah,
you.
sure. Thank you, sir.
Okay, any other participants who wish to speak? Hello. Okay, we'll take up some questions asked in the chat session, and then we'll take up other percentages. Um, how many previous year question papers will be sufficient to see as a beginner student? Okay. In the last time we did a webinar, we have discussed about the importance of solving previous year question papers. So when many aspirants uh, many aspirants who actually okay, we'll another participant has joined. We'll see what Surli, turn on the videos on that others can also see you. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, Surli, please go on.
Sir, is my video switched on?
Okay, no, your video is not switched on.
Now?
Yeah, now now you're visible. Yes, please.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Surli.
Sir, my query was that since I am doing my master's alongside, I
Okay,
could why I had applied for the exam, but I could only start seriously preparing after March during the lockdown when colleges closed down.
okay,
So up until now, I started to prepare for my optional, which is also the subject I did in my undergraduation and masters. But I then realized that I wasn't scoring at all in the prelims test series. So
okay,
I shifted my complete focus to prelims.
okay.
And from the answer keys that I have checked, Shankar IAS or Rao's or one or two here and there, I am
Hmm.
getting about 105 to 108, 104.58 that way. So
Okay,
I think the safest option for me now is to prepare for mains 2020.
okay,
However, sir, I realize that I do not have time to try out a strategy and then fail and then make a new strategy for the same. So I
okay,
need to have one strategy, minimum resources, and more revision. But
okay.
because this is my first attempt, I have no clue and no guidance as to how should I proceed. And
Hmm.
because time is limited, so
Hmm.
what resources do I have where I can minimize my effort in making the resources and maximize in revising and writing?
Okay. Thank you, Shirley. First of all, let me congratulate for your good score in prelims. Hopefully, with that score, you should be writing mains. So I will take you as a representative of the participants who will be writing mains this year. So I will give a general advice for aspirants and taking your case in particular. So you hardly now have around 95, 96 days to mains 2020. So just like in prelims, in mains, UPSC CSE as a whole is a competitive exam. What matters is that you should be having some edge than others. The edge is what matters in this UPSC CSE. So to get the extra edge in UPSC, particularly in the mains, your answers should stand out from others. You should think from the exam whole perspective. See, the only way you will get good marks than others is that your answers should stand out. So how can you make your answers stand out from others? There should be something additional in your answers which are not there in others' answers. There should be some value addition. So how will you get that value addition? How can you bring that value addition into your answers? That should be the thought point, particularly since you are a beginner. You might not be knowing that. Anyway, you need to cover all the basics. All the basics should be clear. But once the basic things are there, you should have something in additional in your answers, which will make your answer stand out. So as a general advice, which I shall give you, that you this I will call a 5 notebook approach. Okay, you buy 5 notebooks if you are doing it in the offline way, and if you are doing it the online way, make 5 files. So one file for essay, the next file for GS1, the next for GS2, GS3, GS4, and GS4. So there will be 5 notebooks. Okay, in the 5 notebooks, you should mark whatever you think, whatever you come across in the next 90-95 days as a value addition material, as a value addition point. It can be a fact, it can be statistics, it can be a code, whatever, which you think will make your answers stand out from others. So this is the 5 notebook approach suggested by ClearIAS. So one thing, for example, I will say that for in case of general studies paper 2, one aspect which can make your answer stand out is by quoting Supreme Court judgments to substantiate answer, whether the question is related to Supreme Court judgment or not. For example, if a question comes up about workplace harassment of women, then you have to quote Vishaka guidelines, right? So that's how you make you do a value addition to your answers. Another way to do value addition is by quoting what is mentioned in ARC report, Zakaria Commission report, Panji Commission report, etc. So do this value addition, then your scores will automatically go high. Okay. In case of UPSC mains, as you know, each paper is of 250 marks. The score about 100 in any paper, GS paper 1, paper 2 is considered as good. So if you score about 100 in GS1 to GS4, you would be scoring around 400 marks. So that is kind of good marks, but to be exceptional, to get a high rank in UPSC mains, you need to score at least 40 marks extra than the kind of good marks, which is 400. If you score over 400, 440, 450, that will be very exceptional kind of marks. So, but 40 marks as a whole might seem like a very big thing, but if you break it into pieces, like say that if you are scoring 100 marks for 20 questions, you will be scoring around 5 marks per every question, right? So if you are getting half marks or 1 mark extra, even half mark extra for 20 questions means you will be getting 10 marks for each paper. In 4 papers, if you're getting half marks for each question, you'll be getting 40 marks extra. So that 400 score of yours will become 440. That will be a really exceptional mark. And combined with the interview marks, you will end up in a good rank. So this is how you should think. You should think that make your answers stand out, and what are the value addition materials you can bring. And don't just give a very general average answer. You should make somehow you should think and come up with an exceptional answer. In the way you write your answers, how to write a good answer, how to frame your introduction, body, conclusion. There is a detailed article on ClearIAS mentioning that how should you phrase a good answer. So if you go to ClearIAS and search that particular article, you will get to know how to write the how to phrase a good answer in UPSC, and if you phrase accordingly, your marks will automatically increase from say 5 marks to 5.5 marks or 6 marks per each question, and in total you will end up with very positive marks like 110, 120 per each paper, and in total you will score like 440, 450 in general studies papers. Is it okay? Can we go to the chat section now? Thank you. Is it audible now? Your microphone got turned off, I suppose, early.
Hello?
Yeah, it's fine.
Sir, could you also just briefly address the brief marks that the brief number of days that we should allocate to each paper if we are giving the paper in 2020 and if we have this much time to prepare?
Okay. What I suggest is that you should take every paper in parallel. Don't give a time, make it enable like you will do first 20 days for general studies paper 1, then the next 20 for general studies paper 2, like that. But rather, if you have 8 hours per day, split 2 hours for each paper, 2 hours for each paper, like that. It also gives space for essay also. Essay is in the main. As you probably know, the mains is comparatively simple when compared to UPSC Prelims, because if you score well in essay paper, ethics paper, and your optional subject, even if your scores are not that good in general studies paper 2, general studies 1, 2, 3, with your score on ethics paper, essay paper, and optional paper, you can score a very high marks and you can end up on the top of the rank list. That is the advantage as far as UPSC mains are concerned. You have the whole UPSC civil services examination is to plan according to your strength and weakness. So if your strength is writing a good answer, like in the case of essay, if you have the ability to write an essay or ethics answer and optional subject, if you're strong in optional subject, without much effort, the GS, to prepare GS, it takes a lot of effort. Like you need to read a lot, like GS 1, 2, 3. It takes a lot of time and effort. But to complete ethics paper, essay paper, and optional subject, it may not take that much time. So if you're time constrained, if you're a beginner, the right area to concentrate is these three. Ethics, essay, and optional subject. If you score well, you will definitely end up in the top 100 marks. But don't don't restrict yourself to just these three. I'm just saying that your focus, if you're good at, if your strong area is these three, focus on these. If your strong area is general studies, focus on all those three papers. But in general, many aspirants will find it easy to score high in ethics, essay, and optional, and end up very high in the rank list. It's all about prioritizing and working according to your strength and weakness.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Surli. Okay. Surli has left the room, and anybody else want to speak? Video is stuck. Okay, please discuss English literature optional. We'll take literature optionals. Okay, hope this explanation regarding the mains preparation helped many of you. I will take some other names random. Krishna, Kiran, I will accept, and I will Pulkit Kaushik, Muttalapati. Okay. I have invited a few participants. You will get the invitation and you can join the live room. Meanwhile, we'll take up some of the questions asked in the chat session. What kind of approach? Okay, Akshay asked a good question. What kind of approach if prelims 2020 not clear? Okay, Akshay, do you want to come and ask live, or shall I just explain? Okay, shall I just explain? I think Akshay is not in the speak list. So if you have not cleared, so for example, if you have, ClearIAS has not released the answer key, we will take some more time to release. Usually we don't release on the exam day or day after exam. We'll take some more time to release the answer keys. But many unofficial answer keys are already there, and you might have checked your answer keys as well. I don't know what is a good score this year, because I am yet collecting the trends, and only after knowing the trends in the ClearIAS platform, we'll know the the range of scores in prelims. But if you are not confident of clearing prelims, we'll see what strategy you should take. Before that, we have a participant in the live room, that is Nuttalapati. Nuttalapati, can you turn on the video so that others can also see? You can ask your question as well.
Sir, am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible.
Sir, actually I have a problem with my webcam, so I can't turn on the video.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, then you may just ask. That's fine.
Sir, I am a beginner for this. I'm a beginner.
Okay.
I wanted it to clear in next year or by the next year. But
Okay.
the main question is like how to prepare the notes for this preparation for this exam. Like the concept where we have to focus and like where we have to leave those points.
Okay, good question. So you are basically looking for 2021 or 2022. You are just about to begin preparation, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So since you are beginning and you have a lot of time to prepare, you need to have a prelims cum mains integrated approach in your mind. Okay, you should not just prepare for prelims, you should prepare for mains as well. Usually many aspirants, how they start their preparation, if they have a long-term perspective, a long-term plan, they usually start preparing mains first. They prepare for the mains only topic first. For example, ethics is a topic which is asked only in UPSC mains. World history is a topic which is asked only in UPSC mains. India since independence is mainly a mains topic. Internal security is a mainly asked only in UPSC mains. Disaster management, these are something which are mainly concerned with UPSC mains. Okay, and optional particularly is a mains only topic. So if you are preparing for 2021, you start with these areas: ethics, optional, India since independence, world history, etc. Make a timeline and try to finish it as early as possible. For example, if you are writing 2021, the exam is on June, right? June, which date? June 27. Okay, it's on June, right? So you have now it's already October. We don't have much time. Even if you are preparing for 2021, there is enough time. But I'm saying that you cannot take it for granted that you have a lot of time to prepare. But even if you are preparing for 2021, you need to make it enable and properly work out that plan. Then only you will be able to clear in 2021. So for the next 3 months, you will focus on the mains only topics like what we have discussed now. Then after 3 months, maybe by January or February, you will concentrate only on prelims related topic. But there can be, of course, overlap with the mains as well. For example, if you are studying Indian economy is asked in both prelims as well as in mains. So there is a big overlap. So the next time after January or February, you should concentrate on topics which are common to both prelims and mains. But definitely what I advise is that if you need to clear prelims is a tougher stage to clear. Only 3 out of 100 candidates who write, like 97 candidates will not clear, and only 3 candidates out of 100 candidates will clear prelims. Prelims is the toughest. Only if you clear prelims, you will be able to write mains. So you should definitely give heavy focus to prelims for at least 6 months. Then only you will be able to clear prelims. So if your plan is to prepare for 2021, you should take prelims and mains together. You should join a prelims test series at the earliest. Considering you have around 9 months or something for next prelims, you should join a prelims test series which extends until the preliminary exam date. So in the whole duration, for example, 9 or 10 months, you will finish the topics which just have overlap for prelims and mains in this 9 or 10 months duration. And by the time you will near prelims, you might have taken already some like 30-40 exams. So you have practiced mock exams, you have covered the textbooks, and that's how you should be progressing. Okay, so what I advise taking you as a representative for 2021 aspirants, what you should do if you're not confident of clearing prelims this year, you should immediately join a test series. And if you are happy with ClearIAS, you join ClearIAS Prelims Test Series. Then in parallel, prepare for the areas in mains. Okay, work on your optional subject, start studying ethics paper, and start studying topics in UPSC mains which does not have any overlap with UPSC mains. Then after January or February, devote your entire time on areas concerned in preliminary. and in parallel study the additional materials we supply, like ClearIAS online materials, the standard textbooks, the ClearIAS current affairs capsules, the ClearIAS most probable prelims questions. We offer a lot of things for free. So go through that. And also definitely you should focus, just like I have many times repeated, that just knowledge is not sufficient to clear prelims. You need to have some exam skills. You need to have some techniques. You need to have some strategies. Okay. Even this year, many might wonder, like around 20 to 30 questions can be solved using the intelligent elimination techniques we discussed in a webinar before. So apply these techniques and learn to apply these techniques. And if you're both strong in the knowledge area as well as in the technique area, you'll definitely clear prelims, and then we will write mains, and then we'll go to the interview, and like that you can proceed. Okay. Hope it's clear.
Yes, sir. Sir, I have a question like this. Like, for example, if we take a topic for a preparation,
Sure.
like, for example, Indian polity,
okay,
it seems like everything is important there.
Okay.
So
okay.
when we highlight everything, again at the time of revision, it will be a question like, again, it will be like reading all the thing again and again.
Okay, I understand. Yeah. That's the another thing which I probably missed to mention is that you should to avoid such a kind of situation, you should start preparing. Start practicing UPSC previous year question papers as well. For example, if you start preparing from now for 2021, the first thing you should practice is the 2020 paper again. Even if you have written 2020 again, go through that question paper. See which are the areas from which UPSC is framing questions. Okay. Similarly, try to solve 2019 question paper, 2018 question papers. Every question paper or every such question papers is available on ClearIAS mock exam platform, and that is available there along with the official UPSC key. Okay, try to solve these questions based on the official UPSC key. Learn the questions and the areas which UPSC give priority. For example, as of now, there are many books for Indian polity. Okay, everyone has Indian polity by Lakshmikant. That is a very good book actually, but it has around 800 pages, 850 pages. It has. Even I have also written 2 books. Like one book is connected with judgments, another book is connected with the important acts. So there are similarly many books available for Indian polity. And for each subject you have such standard textbooks available. Around 50 to 20 very good standard books are available now. Initially, when I was preparing, there was a dearth of standard textbooks in the market, particularly connecting the latest UPSC syllabus. But now we have a lot of textbooks in market. That's a good thing. That it will save a lot of your time. But the question you asked is that, when you see, as a beginner, when you open textbook, everything mentioned in the textbook you feel as important, and you will not be knowing what to study and what not to study. To understand that, what I'm saying is that you start from UPSC, the actual UPSC question papers itself, so that you will know what are the areas UPSC has given importance.
Yes, sir.
For example, in polity, everything mentioned in Lakshmikant is not that important in the perspective of UPSC. Okay, maybe a few chapters, maybe a few concepts. So in polity, I will explain. Like in polity, the most important area, as far as UPSC is concerned, are the 3 organs. 3 organs in the sense that, what are the 3 organs of the state? Legislature, executive, and judiciary. Legislature, executive, and judiciary are the 3 priority areas connected with the UPSC. And nowadays the trend is that UPSC asks not from the minute details or the intricacies of these particular organs, but rather they will ask something different. Like they will ask, what is parliamentary form of government? What is constitutional form of government? Then they will ask about the application as well. That's why they are asking about something like the basic structure doctrine, or acts like Wildlife Protection Act, FRBM Act, the application of the legislature in day-to-day life of common man. So they are trying to connect it with the daily lives of aspirants. So if you take a book, don't try to mug up from page 1 to page 800 as such. Rather, try to find the main area from these particular books and try to focus. You need to prioritize. You need to go through every pages, but it's nothing like what you normally do in schools. Like in schools, we read from we study from page 1 to last page end to end. Like in UPSC, you don't need it. Your aim is not to finish textbooks. You need many textbooks. Maybe 10 or 15 textbooks you need to have. But you should not. Your focus is not to finish textbooks. Your focus should be to clear prelims, mains, and interview. Okay, so don't worry about finishing textbooks. You need to get only what is necessary from the textbook. You need to make the best out of the textbooks. So that is the only thing you need. And in polity, focus apart from the 3 organs of the state, concentrate on the fundamental concepts related with DPSP, fundamental duties, fundamental rights, etc. Preamble, basic structure, etc. Only the basic concepts you need to understand. Hope it's clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Thank
Thanks
you,
a lot.
sir.
Thank you. Okay, anybody else want to join? Any other questions? Sir, please talk about strategies after failing 2020. Okay, failing. Sachin is asking about that. Okay, failing in prelims is nothing unusual. Okay, don't be disheartened after a failure. Failure in prelims is very common, and clearing prelims is something which is uncommon. Failing prelims is very, very common, because that's what I told. Like only 3 out of 100 will clear prelims. The percentage of aspirants who will be clearing prelims is very less. But many toppers, aspirants who have later become toppers, many of them have failed in prelims. And those who, after becoming topper, if they write again prelims, probably many of them may fail in prelims again. So prelims, it is. Prelims is something like unpredictable. There is a lot of luck factor involved in which areas from which questions are asking. The time factor is very important. What you studied should come in the UPSC prelims. The negative marking is there. So prelims is very, it's not highly predictable, but you should be definitely having some strategies. That's what I'm telling. Like your strategy should be to score 120 to 130 marks in prelims, not to score 200 marks, not to score in the borderline or below the borderline. Your strategy should be something like scoring 120, 130 marks. So if you are starting your strategy for prelims, if you fail in prelims, the first thing you need to look at it is to look back, find and analyze your weak points, how you failed in prelims, what was the mistake you committed. Was the number of attempts less, or did you make a lot of negative marking, or your preparation, was it not in the right direction? Did you practice enough? Did you practice the right kind of resources? Did you go through the necessary material suggested? These are the things which you need. Rather than going behind too many things, I would advise you to focus on the priority things, which I have many times mentioned that. As far as if you are a follower of ClearIAS, the 5 items you should definitely focus. I have listed only 5 items. The first thing is that ClearIAS Test Series. ClearIAS Test Series has around 4,000 questions, 40 mock exams, 4,000 questions. Then ClearIAS Current Affairs capsules. We release monthly MCQs in the form of Current Affairs capsules. We have many back issues of Current Affairs capsules as well. Around 3 years of Current Affairs capsules are there. They are completely free. Then for the subscribers of ClearIAS Test Series, we give a PDF in the green color PDF, ClearIAS most probable prelims questions. That contains the questions we discuss through YouTube, as well as sometimes we email our subscribers the questions. The questions are also discussed in the Telegram channel. This is compiled into PDF format, and this is called ClearIAS most probable prelims questions. This is the next source you should refer. Then you should invariably refer ClearIAS the UPSC Prelims previous year question papers that is available as a retake option in ClearIAS platform. Then you should go through the ClearIAS online and offline study materials. So offline study materials in the sense that the books which I mentioned, like the important judgments book, important acts book, etc. So this is what I suggest. Then covering all these materials won't take much time. If you won't believe that if you're practicing mock exams, one thing you are getting is that you will be getting an exam hall atmosphere kind of practice. Then you will be learning faster, and your learning will also be focused. You will be your thinking will be in a line similar to what is required in the UPSC exam hall right from the beginning. Otherwise, many aspirants commit the mistake. The main mistake committed by most aspirants is that they don't do practice right from the beginning. They think that they have not studied anything, so they will not take mock exams. They postpone taking mock exams until the last moment, and when the exams are near, maybe in the final month or something, they will start taking some mock exams, and when they see their scores are not good, they will stop taking mock exams. So what I suggest is that whether you studied or not, most aspirants will not be knowing what to study. That thing is very common, but without studying much, you should make taking mock exams as part of your preparation right from the beginning. Take mock exams, don't bother much about the marks you get in the initial mocks. Continue taking mock exams. Finish taking all 40 mock exams. Definitely your scores will improve. Anyone else who want to speak? Ananda Hasra, Pradeep Pal, Gaurav, Nitya, Rahul, Anurag. Many aspirants want to speak. I have given chances to a few. The session was started at 3. I think we will extend 1.5 hours or 2 hours. We'll see how many questions we can answer in this particular webinar. This is we'll come and meet with more webinars in future. This is just a beginning because the prelims are just over, and I feel many of you have many anxieties about your marks, your preparation strategies for prelims. So this is a strategy session, what to do and what not to do based on it's a live interactive webinar based on the feedback, based on what you ask. Anyone can join, and meanwhile let me go through some of the slides. Okay. Sir, Anurag asked, please take my question and allow to speak. I have given permission, Anurag. You have been given permission already. You will get the invitation. Who is asking? Alex Pius. Sir, I am a beginner. Rahul Kumar Sharma has joined the room. Okay. Rahul, welcome, Rahul. I will take the other chat questions later as Rahul has joined. Rahul, if possible, please turn on your video so that others can also see, and please ask your question. Hello, Rahul. Hello, Rahul, you are audible.
Yes, sir, I am audible.
Please ask your question.
Sir, as I am started preparation since this month, so can I go through NCERT along with standard book for faster preparation? Okay,
you are preparing for 2021, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The ideal way to start is to start from NCERTs. Covering NCERTs will not take much time. For example, the NCERTs you should definitely go through are NCERT geographies. They are very good books, but covering a 6th standard or 7th standard NCERT geography hardly takes less than 1 day. So try to finish NCERTs as early as possible, and don't just limit your learning to NCERTs. Go through multiple standard textbooks. Many aspirants will just depend on 1 or 2 standard books. For example, everyone will be having Lakshmikant, okay? But after Lakshmikant, what are these other standard books you refer? Look at toppers, and they have a huge list of standard textbooks also with them. They don't limit their learning. See the questions which are asked in UPSC this year. With 1 or 2 standard books, these questions cannot be answered. The range of questions is very high. Okay, so if your aim is to score in 120s, 130s, don't limit your learning to a very few books. Rather, expand your learning. You should have depth and width in your preparation. So expand your learning. You should be able to do this. But if you just start reading textbooks as your main agenda, it will take a lot of time. That's why you need a proper timetable. As in the case of a ClearIAS test-based approach. ClearIAS, we adopt a ClearIAS test-based approach. In the test-based approach means we will provide a series of mock exams spanning 10 to 11 months. So in that month, we will be conducting mock exams every Sunday, giving a timetable which involves a lot of standard textbooks and NCERTs. So with that focused timetable, you will be able to go through the textbooks, standard textbooks, and then you will be tested in the form of exam on every Sundays. So over the span of 10 to 11 months, you will be tested properly. You will learn faster in a focused manner. Then when you attempt UPSC Prelims, you will not feel any surprise because you are kind of used to it. If anybody seriously follow this timetable and study plan, you will find the actual prelims much easier. I'm not saying that you will be able to score 200 out of 200, but you will be definitely able to score 120, 130 marks and comfortably clear prelims, and then take UPSC Mains confidently.
Yes, sir. Sir, I have one more question.
Yeah, sure, please.
Sir, is the government policy affecting nature of the question of UPSC? Like agriculture sector, priority area government scheme. Now agriculture many questions asked from agriculture.
Okay. As future civil servants, you should be definitely aware of the policies of the government. There are many policies, right? Like recently, the recently the government has released national education policy. There are many policies, and as a future civil servant, you should be definitely aware of the policies. That is definitely a priority area. But as far as prelims are concerned, I have not seen many questions, particularly on policy aspect. This year, there was one question.
Yes.
Every one or two questions from the policy aspect, but questions will not be always on one particular aspect. You see, the span of questions and the diversity of questions this year is really good. Like it was not particularly concentrating on one particular area. One area which I found 5 or 6 questions, it was connected with the legislature. The different acts were asked. FRBM Act was asked. Wildlife Protection Act was asked. Legal Service Authorities Act was connected. Aadhaar was connected. That is one, but that is one area which is a repeated theme in many years. And Buddhism Jainism is a repeated theme in many years. Wildlife national parks is a repeated theme in many years. Reports were a repeated theme in the last 2 or 3 years, but that disappeared in this year. But that is, we cannot say anything like that. But that happens. But that was also a repeated theme. So anyway, as aspirants, you are supposed to go through all the reports and indices. We cannot help that. But policy as such is important, particularly for mains. Policies are important. You can quote, like as mentioned, I have previously mentioned about the value addition materials, right? So when you write value addition materials, you can mention what is mentioned in the policies as such. When a related question comes, when a question comes about cyber security, you can mention about the cyber security policy. When a question comes about disaster management, you can mention about the policy of disaster management. That will help you score high.
Sir.
Yeah.
Yes. With regard to science and technology, environment, question related to current affairs or theory part, which area should focus more?
Excellent question, Rahul. This is one question which I was expecting. The main mistake committed by most aspirants in UPSC Prelims is with regarding to current affairs. They think that UPSC Prelims is all about current affairs, and 80% of their study materials and their learning is connected with current affairs. They totally neglect the conventional areas like history, geography. Very little time is spent on these subjects, and 80% of the time is spent on current affairs. But in actual UPSC Prelims, it's just the reverse. Like maybe 10 or 12 questions come from current affairs. All other questions are mainly from conventional areas. That is the reason why you are not scoring high marks in UPSC Prelims. You are studying the reverse way, but UPSC is totally reverse. The main issue regarding the overstress on current affairs is probably every website or every app or every coaching institute. They are mainly teaching current affairs. Somehow the trainers, the teachers have got such an intention that UPSC is all about current affairs, and they are preparing and they're teaching their students like that. If you look at this year question or last year question, which were the current affairs related questions? The current affairs related questions were mainly connected with the technology aspect, science and technology, not science but technology, recent innovations like genetic engineering, the questions which are connected with the gadgets, for example, or the blockchain technology. This year was a question on blockchain technology, right? Blockchain technology was there. Artificial intelligence was a question. These are something which is happening currently. So these kind of questions are connected with technology. So most of the technology questions were related to current affairs. Unfortunately, those aspirants who study current affairs kind of thing, they are behind factual current affairs, and these kind of understanding, they don't have an understanding level of current affairs as well. So if you definitely you need to look at current affairs in its priority it's a right weightage for current affairs, but the area you have to focus if you are a student for current affairs is mainly the technology aspect, technology and environment. Questions can come from current affairs in that direction. The questions for current affairs in other areas like polity, sometimes schemes can be a question, but this year we don't see much questions on schemes or other items. And also the other current related thing which you need to look at is the economic trends like sugarcane trends which are connected with sugarcane or things like that, or the export trends or import trends, balance of payment. Those kind of things are seen from the economic survey. So you need to look at that as well. Rahul, your microphone got switched off, and you can, if you have questions, you please turn on the microphone and please ask. Meanwhile, I will go through some. Rahul, you have any other question? Rahul, I think the call got dropped off. Meanwhile, I will take some other questions. I will take the question of Alex Pius. He's asking, I am a beginner. Should I start start studying NCERT, then study advanced books of a single subject, or should I focus on basics of different? You should definitely focus on the basics of different subjects, because studying a single subject is a bad strategy. Many aspirants commit this mistake. They will think that they will finish history, then they will take up geography, something like that. But you never finish a subject. In UPSC, you will never be able to finish. You can say that you will finish. By the time you finish, you think that you finish history. If somebody asks you a question on history, you will automatically, by the time you might have forgotten that. So take preparation of multiple subjects in parallel. If you have 8 hours a day, prepare 8 subjects. Give 1 hour to each subject. Like that you prepare. Okay. So Anurag says, please provide me the other mode of communication. If not possible, take in the group. Anurag, I think Anurag, can you please click on the speak option? I can take you to the live room. I am taking some other aspirants to the live room. Some of you might have got the invitation. Okay, thank you from Alex Baez and Rahul. Thank you. Okay, Sai Kumar has asked a question that how to choose an optional subject. Okay, this is another question. Probably aspirants who are starting now, they are confused how to choose an optional. We have written a detailed article on ClearIAS on how to choose an optional. The decision to choose an optional should be entirely based on your interest in the subject. If you don't have an interest in the subject, you are just thinking that is a scoring optional, probably you will not score high, and you will just waste your precious years of youth. There are 3 or 4 criteria you should think before taking an optional. First thing is your area of interest, then the availability of study materials in that, then the availability of guidance in that, and if there is an overlap between your studies, probably definitely then is an added advantage. For example, if your graduation subject is something like is similar with the kind of optional you're taking, definitely you will be having an advantage. Okay, many aspirants, due to pressure from the mentors or coaching institute, they shift from their optional, even if they have a good optional subject as their graduation subject. But you should not worry too much about a scoring optional and non-scoring optional. If you look at the last 7 years trends, and look at the optionals taken by toppers, can see that on the last 7 years, all the subjects taken by toppers are completely different. Like if 1 year we might be having a topper from economics, the next year we might be having a topper from geography, then political science, anthropology, Kannada literature, public administration. These are how the toppers have performed. So every optional has the potential to perform well. Okay, so don't go behind scoring optionals. Your interest is your first criteria, and your comfort level with the optional. To check with the comfort level with your optional subject, go to UPSC website. and go through the previous year question papers PDFs listed there. UPSC list out PDFs of many previous year question papers there. Go through the question papers, previous question papers of mains optional subjects. Suppose, for example, if you are confused that whether you should take sociology or anthropology or history as your optional subject, go through the question papers of each of these three subjects there, previous year question papers, and see which questions you feel comfortable answering with the current knowledge you have, which question papers suits you. Just looking at the previous year question papers, you will get the right, it will help you take the right decision. Go through previous year question papers, you will find which subject suits you better. Okay. Who wants to join next? Somebody, nobody yet joined the live room. I have sent invitations to many. I have accepted the invitations. Many. Who is joining next? Some of you will get the alert message. Just accept it and join. It will test your microphone as well as the webcam. Or if you're from phone, it will just check the camera, and if things are fine, you will be taken to the live room so that you can ask the questions directly. Okay, Sonia Stravanti. My spoken English skills are less, so please answer my question. Please tell me about perfect book strategy. A lot of confusion having number of books in online. Okay. Sonia is asking about the books you need for preparation. So I will explain in brief. Okay. First, as you know, you need to get as many NCERT books as possible from class 6 to class 12. NCERT books of almost all humanity subjects are needed: history, geography, political science, economy, like that. Mainly, at least all these subjects: history, geography, polity, economy. You need. It's good if you get business studies books, because it is somehow connected with economics. And if ethics, in the ethics paper, the psychology textbooks are good, sociology books are good, but at least make sure you have history, geography, polity, and economy NCERT books. We'll come to the book section after answering a question of Neha. Neha, is it audible? Hello? Hello? Hello, Anurag, can you send the invitation again? Please send the invitation again. Send the... I have sent you an invitation. You can click on that and you will be invited here. Okay, Neha, is it audible? Neha, please tell me when you are ready to speak. Okay. Meanwhile, I will answer the book question. We have discussed about the NCERT books, and you try to get as many NCERT books as possible. Now in Amazon, you will be able to get all the necessary, at least around 40 NCERT books that is available as a bundle. If you don't have time to search individual textbooks, you can get the books in the bundle. But as per the reviews in the Amazon website, some of the textbooks are pirated, photostats, and not every book is in good condition, but at least you will get some 36 books in good condition. That's what I understand after reading through the reviews. If you don't have much time collecting books from bookstores, just go through Amazon, order the NCERT books bundle, and that is also given on the ClearIAS website as well, under the books list. Then you need to buy some standard textbooks. Invariably, you need some books. I would recommend buying many books. Books are a good investment. I would say you may not need to read every book end to end, but you should definitely need books. Otherwise, how will you study? It's not a good trend to go through the pirated materials like PDFs, coaching materials. There are a lot of free materials available in the internet. Everyone knows that, Telegram, but not every material is of good quality. So, and these kind of coaching materials cannot truly replace the standard textbooks as well, because the standard textbooks are written with much more effort, much more research. It undergoes thorough checking, and it covers many subjects entirely. The coaching materials are something like a supplements. They cannot truly replace the standard textbook. So you definitely need to invest some amount and time on standard textbooks. Standard textbooks, the recommended standard textbooks for each particular subject I have mentioned in ClearIAS website. That is not an exhaustive list. We have just mentioned what is necessary, and I will tell you another thing as well, because when in the early days, the number of books were written mainly by scholars, academicians, etc. Okay, when we are studying Indian history, we used to study about R.S. Sharma. We used to study books written by R.S. Sharma, Satish Chandra, like that, right? Like Bipin Chandra. So they were scholars, academicians, etc. But now they are not particularly written in a perspective of UPSC exam preparation. They are written in general, like for general understanding. These books have been written. But now we have very many books written, particularly concentrated on the test prep segment. Like, for example, the book written by Lakshmikant. This is a book which is written particularly concentrating to help aspirants clear UPSC Prelims. Okay, so we have a lot of books come in the market. We have now books for internal security for UPSC preparation. We have books for governance aspect, like that, for every area which was missed before. That is written by experts in the UPSC test prep segment, and they are very, very focused, and it can save a lot of time as well. If you, I'm not saying that you should not read books written by good scholars and academicians. You should definitely go through that. They are something like a very reference books. Okay, you should refer that as well. You will get questions from them. But if you are time constrained, rather pick books which are written particularly in an exam perspective. If you have only a few months time, you cannot refer too many sources. You need something which can give you a lot of written in a short time. So pick books, something like that. Always try to learn from concise textbooks, not go behind very bulky textbooks. Rather pick concise textbooks. The list of recommended textbooks are available on ClearIAS. You just go through ClearIAS menu section. You can see the list of books available. Anybody needs an invitation to the room? Many invitations are there. I have sent invitations too, but nobody yet joined the room. Gayatri Kumari, sir, could you tell about taking law as an optional? If your background is law, definitely taking law as an optional is a good choice. Why UPSC is not yet announced the prelims score? Okay, in 2019, prelims, mains, and interview scores are not yet announced by UPSC. A court case is pending. Once the court case, the judgment comes, UPSC will definitely announce the marks of prelims. And 2020 prelims mark, it will take time. Only after completing the entire process, UPSC will be announcing the prelims marks. As of now, your only option is to go through the unofficial keys prepared by private coaching institutes. Any other question? Given the yesterday's paper, what would be the most immediate priority areas for UPSC CSE 2021 prelims? Okay, I will answer Akhil's question. The immediate priority areas for UPSC 2021 prelims are all those areas which are curious enough so that the question paper, the one who sets question paper finds interesting to put in the UPSC paper. Okay, go through the UPSC syllabus. What UPSC have mentioned under the syllabus for interview. Under the interview, UPSC have mentioned that UPSC is looking for a well-educated youth. That's the requirement of UPSC. As a civil servant, UPSC is looking for well-educated, well-read, all-round developed youth. So what are the events which are happening around him should generate curiosity in him. So UPSC is looking for aspirants who have genuine interest around the things, genuine interest about things around him. For example, plastic pollution, e-waste management. Okay, these are all kind of questions which were in news, and this should be something should generate interest. Artificial intelligence, blockchain technology. So these are all things which are which even the question setter found very interested in. He was curious about that. He also expect as future civil servants, you should also be curious about that. So you think in this direction, and if this is the direction you are thinking, you will get many questions. You will, as aspirants, while learning, going through the news, you will see that this area, this needs importance. For example, environment impact assessment notification was in news. So this is something which should be which every future civil servant should be aware of. So that is a very important area. You should definitely go through that. Artificial intelligence, as I mentioned, is a very important area. Technology, almost all recent technology, UPSC is very much particular that almost every new technology should be covered in prelims, be it virtual reality, augmented reality, Li-Fi, whatever be the latest technology, that will definitely be in UPSC question paper, either in prelims or mains. Okay, so UPSC is highly advanced. So those who set the question papers, they are very expert. They are high experts in many fields. They will bring multiple experts from different fields and prepare the question papers. So what you need as an aspirant, if you are thinking in the right direction, is to prepare in this under this guidance, and these are the areas you should look for. The areas which should generate interest in the context of a future civil servant, like if any new act is passed or any old act is in news. For example, the Epidemics Act is in, because of the COVID, Epidemics Act is in news, Disaster Management is in news, Essential Commodities Act is in news. So these things can automatically come in prelims or mains or in an interview. Okay, these are the things as a future civil servant should know. So think in that direction. Strategy regarding economics is that you should be first thorough with the concepts. Conceptual knowledge is very important with regarding the economics. Then you should know the trends, like what is seen in the economic survey. The higher concepts you should study later. The conceptual understanding of economics is very important. Okay, at least mentioning thanks. Before we wind up the session, it's not time to wind up the session, but before I go into the next questions, I would like to ask, from the end of ClearIAS, which are the areas do you think we should focus from now? What are your requirements? I would like to know your requirements regarding the programs that we should conduct for 2020, aspirants who will be preparing for mains, as well as for aspirants preparing for 2021. What are the areas that you want us to work on or prepare? For example, do you need a class on economics, or do you class on a polity, or do you need a test series, or do you need a mains test series, or anything? If you have some suggestion, or if you need a new book, we have come up with 2 books already. We have come up with important judgments books and important acts book, because I felt that these are the areas which were lacking. There was not sufficient material available. So if you feel that you need a new material on any particular area which is important for UPSC Prelims, we can think of writing a book as well on that. So we need your feedback, your suggestions. Even after this webinar, please let me know your feedback, whether this is helpful or not, or in any help you personally need from my end or from the team, from my team. You can email us. The email address is contact@clearias.com. You can write to that. Please let me know the programs you need. Okay, mentor program, mains answer writing practice is needed, political science optional, test series, Mandeep is saying. Okay, mains test series, mains answer writing. Okay, we are trying to think unique. Okay, we are trying to come up with innovative things. We were one of the pioneers who came with a ClearIAS Prelims Test Series when the online test series were not that popular. We were one of the pioneers who came with an online test series for prelims, and we always try to bring validation to the UPSC preparation either in the form of materials or the quality guidance or anything. If you have any requirements, please let me know. I will go through that. If possible, if it can be implemented, we will definitely implement. Mains prelims test series for time. We are not starting a mains program as of now because unlike prelims, mains test series cannot be automated. Mains needs quality evaluation, feedback, etc. So ClearIAS is very particular about the quality of our programs. So only if we can assure the quality of the mains program, we will start a mains program. As of now, I am busy with too many things. Our team is also busy with a lot of things. That's why we didn't start a mains test series, even though we are getting a lot of requests regarding mains test series. But if possible, we'll start a mains test series. I'm not committing for 2021, but mains test series is something in the pipeline. But when we'll do it in a good way. How to be mains ready before preliminary. I think I have told about. We first focus on our optionals, ethics, and essay paper. Then go through the GS. First focus on non-overlapping areas. Then go through the areas which has good overlap. Can we watch this video again? Pratiksha is asking. Let me see if because I am also totally new to this platform. If this video is getting recorded. Probably I can upload it to YouTube so they can watch this video again, but probably the chat section may not be available in YouTube. But the video as such, you may be able to watch again if we are able to upload it YouTube. Which are the next questions? Irfan saying that agriculture and artificial intelligence sources of genetic engineering, science and technology. Okay, these were some of the questions this year. Okay, how strategy for UPSC 2022? That's a long strategy. Whether you're preparing for 2021 or 2022, it's a bit long, but the strategy for 2021 and 2022 is kind of same. The only thing is that you should make it prelims come mains integrated method. Start from the non-overlapping areas in mains, then come to the overlapping areas. In the final 6 months, devote your entire time for prelims. Even if you are studying on 2021, but if you are free now, I would rather advise you to enroll in a prelims test series. Invest some amount in that, amount and time, like maybe 5,000 rupees spent on that test series. Even if you are appearing for 2020, is not a waste, considering the fees charged by many coaching institutes. The advantage is that you will get at least one round of practice in 2021, even if you are not writing, and then you attempt again join at a series at a discounted rate in 2022. So you will get 2 rounds of practice, and that will definitely help you. That's what I think. For many junior aspirants, they are enrolling even while in college. Even if they are not appearing for that particular year, they adopt this strategy, and this is very helpful because only if you integrate test taking with your learning, that learning will be efficient and focused. Otherwise, it will take a lot of time. Even if it's a long-term goal, usually long-term goals are not that focused. To get the focus, you need to connect it with an exams. Only with proper testing and proper practice, we will be able to clear prelims. When can we expect the results of prelims 2020? Usually, UPSC declare the results of prelims 20 within 40 days. So this is October 4, right? By November 1st or 2nd week. By November 2nd week, probably you can expect the prelims results. And this year, the mains are not. We don't have much time for mains as well. Hardly 95 days. Previously, at least 4 to 6 months gap will be there this year. 4 to 6 months. Okay, this year only around 3 months gap. So by November 2nd week, you can expect results of prelims 2020. Sir, how to manage civil services study along with graduation study? Could you please do something? Okay, if you are a graduate, if you're just doing graduation, try to get some extra time either in the morning or evening. Maybe 2 hours in the morning or 2 hours in the evening. 4 hours is enough if you are doing graduation. If possible, that's what I told. If possible, try to integrate the practice of mock exams along with your graduation study, so that from the beginning you will know the priority areas of UPSC. If you just depend on textbooks, you will study a lot of things. You will study or try to study almost everything under the sun. For example, if you're studying polity, you will study everything in polity. Okay, so you will not be knowing what to prioritize. I already told that in polity, priority is like the 3 organs of the state, and then fundamental rights, DPSP, and fundamental duties, etc. So to know the priority areas, to remain focused, and to know the kind of questions asked in UPSC, you need to make the practice of mock exams, even if you're a graduation student. Vinod is asking about the guidance for English language optional. As of now, in my awareness. I'm not aware of any optional online test series for English language, but I will let you know if I come across anything. Please keep in touch through email. If I come across anything, I will let you know. What are the main core subjects to be started for beginners? If I am asked the 3 core subjects to be started for beginners, I would say history, geography, polity, and economics. These are the 3-4 subjects started for beginners, not current affairs. History, geography, polity, and economics. 4 core subjects. Please elaborate more on a 5-book strategy for mains. 5-book strategy for mains is that you keep 5 notebooks for each subject: essay, ethics, essay, GS paper 1, GS paper 2, GS paper 3, and GS paper 4, and try noting down only the value addition points you can bring in each paper. Not everything you hear and learn, but only the value addition things which will help you make your answer stand out in mains. This is the 5-notebook approach for UPSC mains. How to get a good grip of answer writing? To get a good grip of answer writing, go through the article published in ClearIAS which says how to write a good answer. Probably I can give a link of that particular article. If we published on YouTube, I can give a link, or you can just search Google. Go to Google, search ClearIAS plus how to write a good answer. You will get the link. Also refer the answer writing practices, the model answers written by fellow aspirants, and the feedback given by the ClearIAS team to that. So you will know what are the points that should consider while writing a good answer. History includes all the 3 stages like ancient, medieval, and modern, which are the 3 areas to be for which area should be focused. Ragesh asked. In earlier years, the focus area was actually modern India. Out of the ancient India, medieval India, and modern India, the main area to focus was modern India. Much of the questions, if there are 18 questions, at least 12 questions were from modern India. That was the trend. Medieval India hardly had 1 or 2 questions, and ancient India, the rest of the questions, 4 questions may be from ancient Indian culture. But now the priority has changed a little bit. More questions are coming from the cultural part of ancient and medieval India. So I think we cannot over prioritize things in Indian history. Nowadays you need to at least cover ancient India as well as modern India. Medieval India, cultural part you need to look at. Nagaraj asks how to choose good advanced reference book out. So many advanced reference books are available. You can look for the recommendations from ClearIAS as well as by toppers. Go through the recommended books by toppers and ClearIAS. Current affairs, how many years to study? Will ClearIAS help us in covering current affairs? This ClearIAS, the peculiarity of ClearIAS is that we cover both conventional as well as current affairs. We deal with both. We have online study materials for both history, like conventional as well as current affairs. History, geography, polity, economics, etc. are covered in ClearIAS, as well as current affairs is covered. The trend in UPSC is that the questions from current affairs, even if they are asked, may not be from the current events or happenings which are in news only in the last 1 year. The span of current affairs can be 5 or 6 years as such. So to cover such a long span of current affairs, the advice I can give you is that read newspaper as much as possible. Along with newspapers, go through the ClearIAS current affairs capsules, ClearIAS most probable prelims questions. We have archives for about 3 years, so that will help you cover the previous year current affairs faster. Now let me move through some of the slides as well. Meanwhile, I will answer your questions. Okay, these are the 3 approaches which I suggest: the TTT approach, test-based approach, as well as the prelims cum mains integrated approach. Prelims cum mains integrated approach I have already mentioned. If you Google ClearIAS plus prelims cum mains integrated approach, you will get the corresponding article. Similarly, if you Google ClearIAS plus test-based approach, you will get the article. And TTT approach also, if you just Google, you will get it. So what I intend by TTT approach, if you are beginning for 2021 or 2022, you should follow this approach. This includes textbooks, test series, and techniques. You need these 3 to succeed in UPSC prelims or mains. That's what I'm telling. For prelims or mains, you need the combination of textbooks, test series, as well as techniques. By test-based approach, what I am intending to say that don't over depend on textbooks, but rather learn by taking mock exams. The ClearIAS Test Series is is a test-based approach, which means we cover the whole syllabus of UPSC through 40 online mock exams. That is a test-based approach. Prelims cum mains integrated approach, I have already explained, that is taking prelims and mains together. And success, I have often repeated that success is not just knowledge. You need exam skills as well. Go through the intelligent elimination techniques. This year prelims, in every year prelims, intelligent elimination has a huge application. I have discussed in a written format 10 intelligent elimination techniques in ClearIAS website. We have made a video, and that is available on the ClearIAS online store, about 20 intelligent elimination techniques as a paid video class. There are again much more intelligent elimination techniques. Around 40-45 techniques are there. I have documented around 40-45 techniques. That is not yet made into a full-fledged course, but we are planning to release a course so that you can join the intelligent elimination techniques. Don't just focus on knowledge, focus on these techniques as well. If you are preparing for 2021 or 2022, the area you should focus is include intelligent elimination techniques also in your course strategy. And the books, we have mentioned the books in clearias.com under IAS books section. Go through that. You will get the recommended book list for each subject: history, geography, polity, for prelims and mains. All the books are recommended books by ClearIAS. The recommendations of ClearIAS is slightly different that you normally see from other websites or coaching institutes, because what I focus is that how the books, the return on the investment on these books, how good it is, how fast you can cover the topics, how easy these books will make your preparation. This is what I have included, and our recommendation is slightly different. Probably you will see some new books there, and I hope that will help you. And one thing which I would like to tell you is that if you're starting for 2021 or 2022, or even if you are preparing for mains 2020, one thing you should do is you should definitely refer newspapers, and I think the Hindu is a very good newspaper which will help this year also. When I went through the question paper, I found many questions which are directly or indirectly connected with the news items in the Hindu newspaper. One way to learn faster from the Hindu is to subscribe for the e-paper of Hindu. E-paper is a discounted, much discounted than the actual physical paper. More than that, you will get an archive of around 60 days, and you can get the paper in PDF format, so that you can make online notes from that. To get additional discount on the Hindu e-paper, you just need to apply a discount code. We have partnered with the Hindu, so we have the followers of ClearIAS will get additional discount if you apply the code ClearIAS on that. Just go through the Hindu subscription website, apply the code ClearIAS, you will get additional discount. You will get around 62% discount if you apply the ClearIAS discount coupon. And that's what I wanted to discuss in this particular section. Do you want me to take up any further questions, or can we wind up for today and we'll come up with another webinar later? I will just go through some of the questions and we'll wind up in 5-10 minutes. Okay. Sir, is there any recent edition of a book which is related to the important acts and judgments? I mean, the latest judgments of 2020. Okay. The important judgments book, important judgments that transformed India, was published in 2019. 2019 September it was released. But after 2019, in the last 1 year, there were no landmark judgments as such. The judgments, one important judgment was Ayodhya judgment. Apart from that, there are not much landmark judgments, but as of now, I don't have a plan to come up with a recent edition of this book. Maybe 1 or 2 years later, we'll think of a revised judgment. But the 30 judgments as such are covered in detail in the modern judgments book, and about 90 other judgments are covered in tabular format as well. That is kind of cover almost everything which you need to know. But of course, you need to go through the recent judgments as well. Recent judgments which were in the last 1 year. Maybe 1 or 2 such judgments can also be included in the important judgments book, but in the book as such, what I am intending is we will be covering only the landmark judgments. Not every single judgment which happens that won't come in the book, because that will make the book very bulky. That book is intended to be a concise book, but we'll, if any important judgments comes in between, we'll include that on clearias.com directly. Other judgments you can directly learn from the textbook. Important acts book that is just released a month before, so there is no point in releasing a new edition now. I plan to make the acts book relevant is that if any new act comes, which I think is important for UPSC Prelims, we'll include that as an online learning material. We have partnered with McGraw-Hill, and we will upload the online learning materials in the McGraw-Hill website itself. So those who buy the book, they will get access to the online materials. So any recent bills or recent acts, that will be available for the buyers of the book as online learning material. And judgments also, we'll do something which covers the latest judgments like that. How can I buy Prelims 2020 online test series? Prelims 2020, okay, I forgot to mention that. ClearIAS Prelims Test 2020 Test Series Early Advantage Batch has already started in May 2020, which thought to span about 12 to 13 months. Okay, that's already started, but any aspirant who wish to join now can immediately join that. Around 8 to 10 tests are already over, but if you join today or tomorrow, you will get all those tests directly in your account. On day of joining, on the moment of joining itself, you will get immediate access to all those exams, and on every Sundays you will get access to the remaining exams. All the upcoming exam you will get automatic access. But we are also planning to release another test series as an October batch this month itself for aspirants who want to start fresh, totally fresh for UPSC 2021. Probably aspirants who have returned. If you such aspirants can join the test series, which will be announcing after 3 or 4 days. The start date, as of now, we have tentatively fixed on October 18th, Sunday. You can either join the 2020 test series, 2020 test series is already over, right? 2021 test series, early advantage batch, or the October batch. Both will be open. Mains test series for 2022, not decided yet. Can we skip NCERTs due to time constraints and all? If we from the arts background, can we directly go to the advanced reference books? That's an interesting question. If you are from the arts background, probably you might have studied NCERTs. So the revision of NCERTs may not take much time. Also, if you go through the ClearIAS Prelims Test Series, we have 8 exams particularly connected with NCERTs. We have NCERT history test series, mock exams, NCERT geography mock exams, etc. So if you want to skip NCERTs, I won't advise you to skip NCERTs, but if you due to lack of time or something, if you want to skip NCERTs, at least make sure that you take the NCERT mock exams of ClearIAS so that you will get 100 questions from history, 100 questions from geography, etc. So we'll at least cover the main question areas from NCERTs. But I won't advise skipping NCERTs. If whenever possible, please go through the NCERTs, at least glance through that, then take the mock exams from NCERTs, so you will get the most probable questions from NCERTs. Before I end, I will take up Ananda Hasra's question, and then I will wind up the question. Okay, the question is that how should I continue after failing in 2020 prelims? So failure in prelims, as I mentioned, prelims or mains or interview, failure in not only in exams but in life also is very common. The thing is that you have to take failure in the right sense as a stepping stone towards success. You need to take failure positively. Sometimes failures are for good. That will help you understand, help you realize your mistakes. Then you need to work hard. If you have attempts left, if your chances left, definitely you should pursue your goal for UPSC Civil Services examination. That's worth every effort. But if you don't have attempts left, also don't think that life is over just because of that. UPSC is not the end of your life. This is just an exam. you can definitely be successful in life even if you are not clearing UPSC. Okay, everyone cannot be IAS or IPS or IFS officers. Only very few can become an IAS officer because the number of seats are very limited. Not because your potential is less, but because the seats are very, very less. The limited number of seats are there, and it takes a lot of effort, hard work, and luck factor is also there to get into the service. So don't be disheartened if you're not getting into. There are millions of aspirants who have written this exam. They have not cleared it, but they are living their life really well. And the thing is that the goal of ClearIAS is also we definitely, our philosophy is to help you to clear the services. But I also know that everyone cannot become IAS officer. You also know that everyone cannot become an IAS officer. So the thing is that whether you clear IAS or not, you should not fail in life. You should do well. You should be a leader. You should be able to become a better human being. That's the end goal of ClearIAS. You, as a ClearIAS follower, your knowledge should be better. Your skills should be better. You should be a better human being at the end, and you should be successful in life. That should be your goal. If that is your goal, definitely you should feel positive. Don't make clearing one particular exam as your end goal, and don't link your abilities. Also don't doubt your abilities with the clearing one particular exam. Okay, everyone cannot clear this exam, so there is nothing unusual in that. Try to improve yourself. Improve yourself. Make that as your goal. Be a better person, and you'll definitely succeed in life. Okay, I think we can wind up for today. Thank you all for participating. We got a good participation. Many have asked questions and many have come online also. I'm very happy to help you all. Probably if a recorded session is possible, we'll upload the same session on YouTube so they can watch in YouTube as well if you want to watch this again. Any further questions, please email me, or we'll come up with another webinar so that we can take more questions. Thank you all.